You're listening to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Network. Welcome back to a special episode here on the channel where I unpack what you guys have been asking for, and that is the latest interview that Andy Cohen, you know, from Bravo and the executive producer of some of your favorite reality shows, did an interview with Call Her Daddy, and there were some moments that stood out, and you guys wanted to hear my thoughts. So let's unpack in a special episode this Andy Cohen interview on Call Her Daddy. Welcome back to the Kempire channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As always, be sure to like this video, share this video, be sure to subscribe, and if you're listening to the audio version of this, which I probably will drop for our Club Kempire members first, be sure to give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. Welcome back to the channel for a special episode where we break down this Call Her Daddy interview with Andy Cohen. But before we get to that, today's live show is sponsored by our friends over at Factor Meals. Factor Meals is back here in the channel and on a busy day, and I know you all have very busy schedules. Kids are back in school. The holidays are right around the corner. Factor makes it easy. In just 2 minutes, you can get a dietitian-approved, chef-crafted meal that meets and matches your life. And I know we all have different lives and different goals. So Factor has you covered. Fall always feels like a reset. Back to school, busier routines, and shorter days, finding time to cook can be tough. That's why I personally love Factor. Their chef-prepped, dietitian-approved meals makes it easy to stay on track and enjoy something comforting and delicious, no matter how hectic the season gets. So they have more variety, more meals. Choose from a wider selection of weekly meal options, including premium seafood choices like salmon and shrimp, at no extra cost. More importantly, support your wellness goals. Enjoy even more GLP-1 friendly meals and new Mediterranean diet options packed with protein and good-for-you fats. Savor global flavors. For the first time, try Asian-inspired meals with bold flavors influenced by China, Thailand, and more. So, of course, I've gotten you a discount. I know that's what you're waiting on. What is the discount, Kempire? Eat smart at factormeals.com/Kempire50 off and use code Kempire50 off to get 50% off your first box plus a free breakfast for 1 year. That's code Kempire50 off at factormeals.com for 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for 1 year. Get delicious, ready-to-eat meals delivered with Factor. Offer only valid for new Factor customers with code and qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase. More information on Factor and your discount will be available in the description or episode notes. So let's get to this because I know you've been waiting. A lot of you and I have been having this conversation on X or on Blue Sky, talking about some of the clips that have been coming out from this Call Her Daddy interview. Call Her Daddy is a podcast. It's not a podcast that I listen to. I only see clips of some of the interviews that she's done. I can't say good, not good, whatever. Based off this interview, it did not call me to go back. Just saying. But that's me personally. You already know I am a podcast snob. I only listen to maybe a handful of podcasts regularly. There will be some that I'll listen to here and there, but like my faves, literally a handful that I will listen to that are comfort. As you know, I'm very sensitive when it comes to different audio voices and things like that. So I can't listen to just anybody. It's not personal. It's not shade. It's just how I am made up. It's always been that way. Sometimes I can't listen to myself, okay? But I have to in order to perfect, change, make sure things are working, making sure that you guys aren't getting crazy ads, which for those that may have reached out to me about some of these crazy ICE ads, political ads, I've already spoken to my podcast network to ensure that these are taken off our podcast. Not sure why that was happening anyway, but thank you all for the heads up. That should no longer be happening. I hear it's happening on Spotify a lot as well. I don't know what's happening there, but you know, a lot of money is being spent to change your perspective or to influence you. Keep that in mind always. This is why we need to be very discerning when we see things and not automatically believe everything that we see or hear. Speaking of which, let's get into this interview. I have sped it up a little bit. That way we do not have to sit here all day. I know you would love to sit here all day with me, and I would love to sit here all day with you, but you would not want to sit here all day and discuss Andy Cohen. I understand. But I will be stopping and going. We're playing this under fair use because I will be dissecting, researching, and commenting on this conversation. All right? As always, I will cite my sources in the description so you can hear the full interview with everything and whatnot. Some of these parts I will skip over, like the very beginning when they talk about, calling each other daddy and what makes Andy Cohen a daddy. We could skip over that. Right? Right. Okay.
Just had to. Sorry,
No,
I
this
now
is-
relinquish.
Andy Cohen, welcome to Call Her Daddy.
Thank you.
Do you like being in the interviewee chair?
I'm good. It depends who's doing
hate
the
it.
interview.
I personally do not like being interviewed.
I think that talk show hosts make great guests because we don't like silence and we like to keep talking and we like to keep the ball in the...
This is true. When I interviewed Oprah, the reason why that interview went so well and it felt so easy to me, I didn't feel nervous doing it, was because she is an interviewer. So she knows how to keep the conversation going. It was a conversation. It wasn't question, answer. It was spur of the moment. And she made it easy.
But I do have a tendency to kind of try to turn it around. I interviewed Howard Stern a couple weeks ago, and I could tell from the very beginning, I was like, oh, he is going to try to keep, it was like, so it felt I felt like I kept having to kind of interrupt him and stuff because I was trying to get control. But no, I don't mind it. I enjoy it when, like, I'm excited to do this.
Yeah.
This is like a special occasion. When I go on Stern, I'm excited to do it.
I get what you're saying. It's like,
and I'll tell you this, Howard Stern, I know his rise to fame had to do with a lot of the provocative things that he said, but if you have really paid attention to Howard Stern's career and his interviews, he is hands down one of the best interviewers that we have alive. Hands down. I've seen quite a few interviews with him. I haven't watched an interview with him in a while. And I meant to watch the Sarah Jessica Parker interview that he did a few months ago, but I couldn't really listen to her. It's a lot of, she's not very straight to the point. It's a lot of, she's very calculated with what she says, but I enjoy Howard Stern as an interviewer. Yes, he does, and he goes in places that are a little provocative. But if you really pay attention, especially as an interviewer, then that has interviewed hundreds of people, celebrity, non-celebrity, you guys call in, you don't realize I'm interviewing you. So I have a lot of respect for how he interviews and the research that he actually does in his interviews.
if you're fucking with someone that's like, we're kind of at the same level, we both do a similar job.
Pause. I'll just give you guys a heads up because I know sometimes you listen to this podcast or this YouTube channel and you do not expect curse words. Apparently they curse on her podcast, so just keep that in mind.
So like we both know how this goes, but if you're actually getting fucking interviewed for like a magazine and you're on camera, I'm like, oh my God, I don't even want to talk about myself half the time anymore. I just want to get the tea on other people.
Yes.
The hair.
My hair.
Yes.
Okay.
Talk to me. How did you decide to grow it out? I love it.
Thanks.
Have you been getting rave reviews?
You know what? It's been pretty positive feedback. Thanks for asking.
It's really good.
Yeah, thanks.
Are you going to keep it?
You know, I think I am. I have a full head of hair.
Which is not fake.
Mind you, you have Andy Cohen in your chair. Andy Cohen has had a very storied career. He's had a very successful career. I guess, look, I'm going to see where this goes, guys. But that's the first question, the hair. Okay, let's keep it light and fun, Kempire. Okay.
Established. It's not faked. I have no pieces in my hair. And basically, I usually grow it out every summer because I get into a beach vibe every summer and I grow it out and I'm taping Watch What Happens Live less. This year, I also this summer lost some weight. And I think that when your face is thinner, you can carry off longer hair better. And so I was...
Really? Should I get a wig, y'all?
Like, oh, wait, this actually now looks better because my face is a little thinner. So I think there's something happening in tandem.
Oh, that's so interesting. And when you went on this, is it like a health journey or you're just like, I need to lose weight?
Both.
Are you like running? Are we working out? What are we
We're doing everything.
Do you feel better?
I feel great. Yes.
He said we're doing everything. Okay.
I've seen some people being like, he seems like in a good mood on the show recently, which I didn't know if it was just because it was also like you were just coming off a vacation from summer.
I am in a major natural high, even though I love edibles and whatever. But I'm feeling, I just moved into like my dream apartment. I have 2 kids. My show got picked up for 2 years. Everything is so good, knock on wood, that I'm just, and everything, and I feel good about myself. And it really does. At the beginning, in May, I couldn't button my suits. I was kind of at an all-time high, and I was like, I didn't feel good about
it. Sounds like Andy and I have the very similar health journey. I'm telling you guys, when you reach a particular age, because I remember in my 20s and my 30s, I'd be able to drop weight like nothing. And also, when I was at certain weights, my blood pressure and things like that would be affected, and I know that. So I would lose the weight, and I'd be like, okay, I'm back to prime, and then it just catches up to you, and you're like, oh my gosh, I was at my New York City show, the not the last one, the one before the last, and I was looking at the video, and I was like, when did I get so big? And it probably was like the biggest I've ever been. And this is actually a weight that I've been for the majority of my life. This is the weight I've been. If you've been watching the channel, you've seen me fluctuate. You could tell from my face.
Myself, and I'm someone who usually feels pretty damn good about myself.
Wait, what was your vice for food? What were you eating?
I was eating everything and just drinking a lot, and I was just snacking a lot. And I have kids, and I'm making them. My dad's like, my son is like, yeah, I don't want any more mac and cheese, and I'm like, well, I'll finish it, and like waffles, and let's all get ice cream and burgers, and so it's like
the other thing too. He has young children. I mean, that's another motivation to maintain a healthy lifestyle.
It was like a Hoover. I was hoovering food. It's so bad.
Well,
no self-control. And then I watch What Happens Live. Oh, Andy, this chocolate chip cookie company sent you this huge thing. And then I have 2 tequilas on the show, and I'm like, where's that cookie? So like, I was a psycho. I was just a psycho.
Oh my God. Okay, well, I think that you looked great then. You look great now, but I'm happy that you feel good.
I feel great.
Okay, so you don't have clip-ins in your hair. I was thinking though.
I will say this. I could tell that he's lost weight, but I couldn't say that I felt like Andy had gotten out of control. Because he also worked out with a trainer. But again, like I said, sometimes even with that, you're still not in a healthy weight for your height. And Andy's not tall. So there's a amount of weight that you can only get to without it affecting everything. Your cholesterol, as you get older, again, some of that stuff that you could have done when you were in your 20s and 30s and 40s, you can't do when you're in your 50s and you got 2 young children, you're trying to run around with those kids.
Are you a high maintenance or low maintenance person?
The lowest.
Really?
Well, in terms of what?
I don't know, just like your life. Like, what's the most high maintenance thing about you?
Well, I'm pretty picky in terms of travel and hotels
that's good.
and things like that. I'm a man of taste.
Let me find out. Andy and I have a lot in common. I agree, Andy.
Okay,
oh,
Daddy?
Yes, you are.
And so I'm very picky about things like that. I'm picky in terms of how I like my show produced or I'm professionally picky. If I go into a reunion, I'm picky about how the day is going to go.
Oh, we are going to get to the reunion stuff because holy fucking shit. But we're going to get there. We're going to ease in. We're going to ease in.
It's a journey. Let's ease in. Take care of me.
I'm going to take
love
care of
to
you.
Me slowly.
Why don't you make love to the daddy gang right now and tell them what your tagline is? Let's start like Real Housewives. We've always got to do it. You do yours. Look at the camera.
I will say this. If you're listening to the audio version of this, I implore you to watch the video version on YouTube because you can see my facial expressions during some of the things that are being said during this conversation.
Let's tell the girls.
I'm a father of 2, but a daddy to many.
Oh my. Now, did you come up with that on your own? Did someone come up with it for you?
No, I think I came up with that one.
And even if you didn't, just go with it. Just fucking lie.
Yes.
I don't think he did. I vaguely remember that someone came up with that, but don't quote me on that.
In what ways are you a daddy?
I take care of people. I am very decisive. I am a little bossy. I am a top. I am, I'm pretty opinionated. I like to be in control. I think daddies are in control.
So you're dominating it all.
Yeah.
Okay, you've done your radio show at SiriusXM for what, almost 10 years?
I've had my radio channel for 10 years. I have 2 channels on Sirius, but it is the 10th anniversary of Radio Andy.
Congratulations.
Right now. Thanks.
It's pretty fucking incredible.
Thanks. I'm excited about it.
Okay, I have heard that you've blacklisted celebrities from coming on Watch What Happens Live. What does it take for a guest to actually piss you off? And is that true?
Wow. You know what? There's a short list.
Okay.
And there have been people who've been not nice to my staff. That will get you on the list.
Yep.
I mean, unless you're a huge star. Then it's like, okay, whatever. That's kind of,
You're like, treat them like shit. It's fine.
She's a diva and that's so fair.
I feel like that was towards Mariah Carey.
She was a cunt.
You're like, come back soon, babe. Love you.
I know. And then I'm like, sorry to my staff member. Like, you know what? I mean, we all have to deal with it. So I mean, no, I think that would get you on there. I think, I think people who just come on, there are people who just have had so many stipulations about the interview. And I'm like, you know what? Let's not do this. Like, it's good. We're good. Because also,
I've had that. Hence why you guys don't see me do a lot of interviews. because I remember in the early days of Kempire Radio, I would, be emailing and speaking to the teams and things like that. My friend, who's also in the business, was just recently talking about trying to coordinate something with one of these celebrities as well, and just complaining about like, oh my God, they made, and then you understand why certain people's careers are where they are because of the teams that they have. That again, I don't know if it's just the team or it's the team playing the bad guy, but oh my God, the many stipulations that that you would have to deal with people asking you to pay for an interview. I've told that story before about, I remember Kelly Price. Sorry, Kelly, I got to tell this one again. Kelly Price's team at the time, I don't know if her team today would do that. At the time, they were like, okay, can you send the questions and she will record the answers and send them in? I declined the interview. I was like, because my whole aim in any interview is to have a conversation. That will not be a conversation. So I'm good.
The expectation with me is that I'm going to go there much like you. And so it's like, I'm not doing this.
Right.
It's
I'm not trying to make you uncomfortable, but you got to play the game.
Exactly.
Okay, wait, could you name one person?
Probably not.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. We're going to play one of your games. Marry, shag, kill.
Okay.
Howard Stern.
Okay.
Tom Sandoval. Craig Conover.
Oh, I would. Oh, interesting. Okay. Well, that is a little bit of an HR issue because Craig is.
Has anyone noticed since the reality TV reckoning? Please pay attention. It's been happening since then that he's continuously brought up, oh, well, that would be an HR issue. You've seen it during the reunions when Portia recently said, she got her breasts done. And I forget, she's like, I'll smell them. And he's like, oh, I think that'll be an HR issue. He said it multiple times recently. He's been spoken to because he's been cited in multiple accusations of being inappropriate. The Leah McSweeney lawsuit, Brandi Glanville.
On Bravo. So I think I'm going to make it easy. I'm going to marry Howard. Listen, I'm going to shag Sandoval because I do think he is he's like one of the prettiest men that he's a very pretty looking man. Huh. Absolutely.
I've never met him.
And she said, never met him. I don't know if I would say that Sandoval's a pretty person. I've seen him in person. I'm not saying he's a bad looking guy, but I've seen so many better looking guys. Like even Craig is better looking than Sandoval.
Craig, I'm going to have to kill only because it's an HR issue, and I don't want him to feel uncomfortable if I was like, I would shag Craig.
True. So we're kind of reading between the lines that maybe if he's off of Bravo soon, you would slot him.
Maybe he'd be in play a little bit. I love Craig.
Okay, that's a good answer. And while I love Initiative, Farmers Market great trip starts with a great one for students. You get college girls that is in that bowl and the text is written. 3 of the 4 people in that bowl I've actually interviewed and they're your friends, so that will be fun. Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, number 1. How much money did you make last year?
Oh my God. Oh my God. I have to text someone. Oh my God. Really?
I thought you weren't going to answer that.
Are you fucking kidding me? There's no way I'm answering that.
Why not?
Because I feel like it's douchey and I feel like, frankly, I'm in a position in my life where I'm making money that is there's an incredible wage inequity with people that I work with and also people.
Also, we know he's making a ton of money and he just signed a new contract with Bravo. So we know he's making a ton of money and he doesn't want anyone to know how much money he's making. I know he's going to give us this nice PC politically correct answer, but let's be honest. He doesn't want y'all knowing how much money he's making. I understand it. People
who do jobs that are way more important than mine, like special ed teachers or home hospice care. I mean,
you're self-aware.
It is not fair.
No one needs to hear.
Ridiculous.
Love, text. Who's it to?
Lisa Vanderpump.
What does it say?
We're going to shake up the Beverly Hills cast. Who do you think I should cut next season? What's it going to take to get you back on Housewives? Okay.
You either text one of those. Which one do you want to do?
I think I'll text her. Well, she's going to say Kyle.
Stop.
Shaking up BH cast. Who should we part? I'm saying excellent with.
Look, sidebar. I saw, there's always rumors on social media. They were talking about on social media this week that the word on the street from an insider, they're going to shake up the cast of Salt Lake City. Andy Cohen has said multiple times they don't consider shaking up cast or making cast changes until after the reunion. Salt Lake City hasn't even gotten to film their reunion yet. We haven't even gotten halfway through the season. And Salt Lake City is a stellar cast. I don't hear, I know some of you come here, you want to hear, Kempire, did you hear that? There's so much fake news on social media, especially now in this new era of what we're living in. So don't believe the hype.
Look at the smirk on your fucking face.
Okay.
You're like, you little shit.
Okay.
It doesn't matter how much money you make. I think that's easy. That's easy. So you think she's going to take Kyle?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Okay, next. What public relationship?
She's so cheeky. She'll probably say, goodbye, Kyle.
Okay, what public relationship do you think is purely PR?
Oh, wow. Okay.
Or has been PR?
I suspected that Amaya Papaya and her guy, I was like, I don't.
For those that don't know what that is, isn't that Love Island? You know, I didn't watch Love Island, but I remember people talking about that as well.
No.
What, because you got the vibes from the reunion?
No. Even before the reunion, I was like, I went into that feeling a little like, are they on or off?
And did you think it was both of them playing it, or do you think it was Brian using Amaya? Because that's, I think, a huge conspiracy.
I didn't have an opinion about who was working the other.
You just thought it was fake?
I just thought, I don't know if I would say it was fake, but I was wondering if it either had legs or it was still going. Yes.
You may have been right, because they're done.
Yeah.
Okay, what really went down between Brandi Glanville and Caroline Manzo?
You know what? If it were up to me, you would be seeing the entire thing.
And this is coming from Andy Cohen, who's seen it. So it says to me, it may not be as bad as people think it is, but, you know, Caroline Manzo is suing the network.
I would like nothing more than for everyone to see that.
Wasn't it just legal?
It's not you know what? Some things happen at Bravo that or on Bravo or on the shows where people are like, why did you do this? Why did you do that? Or why didn't you keep this person or whatever? And I will say there are situations where it's in the network's hands and not me. I'm a free agent and I am a executive producer of all of the Housewives shows, but certainly not the last word. I'm a loud voice in the room, but not the only voice.
Okay, good to know. What work have you had done?
I've had no work done. I lost 25 pounds this year. I started I think this year to get a teeny bit of Botox in my forehead. I've had it done twice. You got movement. Yeah. I mean,
I've noticed the difference. I think you should definitely do a little bit more. Botox is for skincare too, so you can avoid more wrinkles, but he hasn't done it. And so he hasn't done it in how many years when he was already having a lot of lines in his head. So now, but you could definitely tell the difference in regards to the lines. I think he should definitely do a little bit more. It will help him look a little refreshed.
Teeny bit. I am thinking of having a smidge more. I don't want to look crazy.
You look great.
But that is it. I've had nothing done. Not a thing.
You're so fucking real for that. I love that.
Yeah. I also feel like if I do have something done, I'm going to have to immediately talk about it because I ask every housewife, what have you had done? And I feel like it would be so hypocritical. This summer, I microdosed a GLP-1 and I immediately talked about it when I came back from break after Labor Day because I was like, I will be the hypocrite of the universe for not saying this because of every question I've asked.
Wait.
I will be such an asshole.
First of all,
at least he knows.
Just knew that I had to do it.
What is a GLP-1?
It's like a Mounjaro, Wegovy, whatever. Yeah.
No, I saw a clip this morning of you talking to, I think it was Larsa, and you were like, she was like, I had my boobs done, I had this done, and you're like, your butt? She was like, my boobs. You're like, and your butt? You had your butt done? I was like, honestly, Andy, fucking love it. Okay, which housewife's firing caused the most behind-the-scenes chaos?
Behind-the-scenes chaos. I would say when we totally revamped Roni, and I would also say when we let go of, at the end of season 4 Roni, when we let go of Jill, Alex, Kelly, Cindy Barshop. I think that was kind of a big thing.
Wow, he went way back.
But I have to say, I mean, the chaos behind the scenes, it wasn't, it was just, wow, we're doing something very bold.
Okay. Okay, have you ever slept with a member of the Bravo universe?
No.
Never. And that...
I don't know if I believe that, but okay.
Just been an intentional, or it hasn't presented itself?
I think that even I understand the rules of the game there.
Pay attention, because remember, there have been some recent allegations, the reality TV reckoning, the lawsuits. He's got to be very careful.
As far as that goes, there have been a couple that that in my mind I've thought like, well, no, that would be interesting. But yeah, I think that would probably, especially at this point, be unwise.
Yes,
don't you?
I completely agree. You should keep where you're at and don't fuck it up.
All good.
Do you think Wendy from Potomac faked her home invasion?
You know what? I love Wendy from Potomac, and I I am really very strongly hoping that this doesn't pan out to be anything. I think she's been a great role model, and she's really led with her education and her family values.
You guys notice he says the same thing every time he's asked about Wendy.
And so, I don't know anything about the case, but except that I was caught totally off guard by that.
Dude.
And,
Okay, text 2 more people because you answered all the fucking questions.
Well,
I
then,
knew you. No, come
why
on.
do I have to
Pick one. Pick one. Yeah, take a look. Take a look.
Okay.
I know. Holy shit, I need to ask you a harder question.
Anderson, I've gotten myself in a bad financial situation. This is awkward. Can you help me out? He would be like, you're high. What if instead of shots this year, New Year's Eve, we do shrooms? I think the ratings would be crazy. You don't think I've suggested that already? Okay.
Fuck.
John Mayer, I'm going on Caller Daddy with the Alex. Any advice? We've already had that conversation.
What did he say?
FaceTimed yesterday.
What did he say?
He's like, you're going to be great. He goes, go, he was like, deliver.
Deliver.
He was like, you know what you're doing.
Fair.
Yeah.
Love you, John.
I think I'm ready for my music debut. Will you help me? He'd be like, absolutely, baby.
Oh.
SJ, just realized I never asked. You're leaving shoes in your will for Lucy, right? She'd be like, there will be something special.
Oh.
Hypothetically speaking, if I wanted to buy Carrie's iconic pink dress from you, how much would it cost? She would be like, who's on your phone?
Okay, good. So I got the right one with Lisa.
Yeah. Fun.
Okay. When I was prepping for this interview, I realized we have something in common, which is we both went to Boston University.
Wow.
And so did Howard.
Yes.
It's like a breeding ground for serious XM people.
Hilarious.
Look at us.
Serious.
Like, how would you describe yourself as a freshman at that point in your life?
I was in the closet, hard to believe. I was a hippie. I was a deadhead. I still am a deadhead. But I was like a straight-ish version. So I was a little
What's a deadhead?
more like, hey, I was like, I talk different. There's video of me at the time. I'm like putting it on. I'm like, yeah.
Sort of like an emo guy or something like that. I forgot what we used to call them when I was, that age.
But
you knew you were gay at that point.
Oh, did I? Part of the reason I went to BU, frankly, was because not only they had a great College of Communication, but is that where you went?
Yep.
Yeah. It was a city school with no campus, and I didn't want to get sucked into an environment where I would be found out. And I wanted to be able to disappear in a world, and I also was super scared of the fraternal system, which I now am understanding is where all of the gay sex happens. So I'm like, what the hell? I should have gone to like Indiana or whatever, and these idiot, confused straight guys would be blowing me every night, and I actually would be, so that was dumb because all my friends are like, Sigma Chi at Cornell, not to blow anyone up, but like the stories I have heard, like there are so many gay friends that I have, and I'm like, wait, you were on the swim team where and what happened? So
holy fuck. But I get it, because it feels like it would be like a homophobic situation. Meanwhile, they're like fucking doing you in the bathroom, and then they're going to reunite with their girlfriend.
They're like creeping into they're all creepers at night drunk, and then they're like, what? This didn't happen.
Wait, and where did you grow up?
St. Louis.
Okay. And
where'd you grow up?
Pennsylvania.
Okay.
So I was excited about BU too, but was your family supportive when you came out?
Yeah,
okay.
They were great.
You were just socially nervous to come out.
Well, look, it was a different time.
Yeah.
And everybody was dying of AIDS. I came out in 1988. I mean, this was a totally different time. There were not many gay people on TV at the time. Will and Grace wasn't on. So it was The Real World was starting at that time. And I think The Real World started in like 90. And that was like the first gay guy, my age was on TV. So it was a very different time.
Totally.
And it was scary.
We have definitely come a long way.
It was a way scarier. Even as liberal as my parents were, we got the New York Times delivered to our doorstep when I was growing up. But I didn't have a sense that me being gay was going to be that amazing news for anyone. And also, the idea of having a family, if you were coming out of the closet, was not. I remember the conversation I had with my mom, and one of the first things she said was, I probably would have hated your wife anyway, which is a great fucking line. And she probably would have, by the way. It would have been a nightmare for me. So, but I said to her, she said, during that time that I came out with her, she said, I'm really mourning the loss of the life that I wanted for you. And I said, well, what was that life? And she was like, well, like you having a family or you being a dad. And I was like, well, I could still be a dad. And I didn't believe it when I said it, and she didn't believe what I was selling because it really was not. How was I going to be a dad?
And now
like that would never happen.
And now 2 children.
Yes.
No, but did she text back?
No, Anderson did.
Oh, you didn't even text him.
Oh, wow. It's good news for him.
Oh, that's good, Anderson.
He got
I love that.
Good news.
No, I cannot imagine what it would have been like back then. And I also, though, get what your headspace was of like, if I go to a city, I can kind of go all around, and BU is like that. Like you can go to the West End, you can go to the South, like you can go anywhere and kind of disappear, which is not normal for college experiences.
Yes.
During this time though, weren't you really kind of clear career-wise. Like you were in journalism.
Yeah.
Did you know what you wanted to do?
I wanted to be, my total dream was to be myself on television. But there were not many places where you could do that. Again, like maybe being a VJ, which I auditioned for to be an MTV VJ. I think
you would have been good at that.
I did not have my shit together. I didn't have my look together.
What did you
look
look like?
so much better now than I did as a kid.
I was about to say, I've seen the old photos and video. He would not have been a good VJ. Shout out to Ananda Lewis. May she rest in peace.
Was like, I had this kind of Jew-fro, and it was just bad. It was bad fashion, bad. And so I wanted to do that. And then my last internship was at CBS News, and my kind of mentor there was like, your eyes are so crossed, you'll never be on TV. And I was like, oh my God, okay. And then I went behind the camera. And so I kind of gave up my dream of being on TV. I thought maybe I could be a reporter somewhere, but I didn't want to go to a small market and work my way up. I wanted to go straight to NYC, man, which is what I did. And I just started working behind the scenes.
Wait, someone saying that to you is kind of fucking shitty. I'm saying,
you know what? By the way, I came up at a time where it was totally legal to say shitty things to everybody to their face. And it was like another day at work. So, I mean, I will say it toughened us all up. It was another universe of time. I've had pencils thrown at me in meetings. I mean, like, I've had people say so many tears, so much stuff, but like, I feel tougher as a result of it.
I was going to ask you, like, early days of your career, obviously you have to start somewhere. Like, what was the most humbling bitch work that you had to do?
Oh, I mean, I was working on the morning show at CBS, ripping scripts at 3 a.m. I mean, I was like, whoa, I made it. I was like, this is so cool, because my check came from CBS.
That is
and I worked
cool.
at the CBS Broadcast Center. And I was like, I was 23 or 22. I was the youngest. I kept being the youngest. I was the youngest, like, associate producer. I was the youngest producer. And so I was like a success story at that time. But I was doing all sorts of bitch work.
So, but you moved to New York City after college, which is amazing. And when you're living this life of CBS, are you partying? Are you exploring your sexuality?
I was fucking it was awesome. I got no sleep ever. I worked, and I was telling there was no Grindr. There was no, so if you wanted to meet people, you would go out, and there were so many more gay bars in New York City, and there were gay bars in every neighborhood. It was like
I had randomly saw today a young guy talking about Escuelita, an old gay club that old like black Hispanic gay club that was here in New York City. But during that time, there were multiple places for gay, queer people to go. That is so different now.
Neighborhoods in the East 30s, there were 5 gay. I mean, it was crazy. So you'd be home, and then at 11 at night, you'd be like, yeah, screw this. I'm going to go to the Works. There was a bar called the Works on Columbus Avenue and 81st Street. It was so great. And all these video bars, and they just showed videos, and you would go alone, and you would meet people, and you would run into people that you knew from the neighborhood and whatever. And it was just a different universe. And I think that people are so fucked by social media and everything. And it was so cool. I met so many people, and I'm not saying I slept with so many people. I'm not saying I didn't, but it was awesome. And I just feel like when you move to New York, you choose life, and you are choosing to live. And that goes today as it went yesterday. But I was like, I was truly living my dream then. And I was like, this is the only place I want to be. And I don't care if I get 3 hours of sleep for the whole time that I live here, because this is so amazing. And I did.
I relate a lot to that. When I graduated from BU, I went right to New York City. I had like no fucking job. I moved in with a boyfriend that I hated, and I was like, let's fucking go.
Yeah.
And I was out every fucking night. I was at the clubs.
Yes.
I was sucking dick, and I was having a great fucking time.
Yes.
And I was like, let's go.
Yes.
And you lean in and you have fun, because it's not forever that you can like be in that moment.
Yes.
Okay, wait.
But also I was like, I will show up at 5 a.m. to work. Great.
Perfect.
And I'll be excited about it.
So when do you get on camera?
Oh, I didn't get on camera for many years later. I got on camera when I in the year 2000, Barry Diller offered me a job running programming at this startup cable channel. And I knew Barry socially. Still know Vanderpump.
Turn your fucking phone off. We're done.
So I'll check it at the end.
Okay.
Barry offered me a job. I left CBS News after 10 years.
Okay.
I was running programming at this teeny cable channel called Trio that nobody ever saw or heard of. But I learned the ropes of kind of cable programming from this team from Barry Diller and this team he created, which is amazing.
That's amazing.
Highly recommend his book, which came out this year.
It's incredible.
It's amazing. So worked there. The channel the plug was pulled, and this company merged with NBC Universal, which owned Bravo. I was being offered the job of head of current programming on Bravo.
Okay.
But Viacom was starting a gay channel called Logo. And I was like, wait, I'm the gayest guy in TV. I should be running this channel called Logo. So I went and interviewed for that job, which I didn't get. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? You're not giving me this job? I couldn't believe it. So I went and worked for Bravo, not getting.
That is the perfect example of how that no actually was the perfect no. It was the actual yes that he needed for doing what has led him to being a huge success and millionaire and so many other opportunities since.
That job saved my life. I wouldn't be calling you daddy if I got that job.
Dude.
So like, honestly, I wouldn't be, So anyway, a few years into it, now we've launched Project Runway and Top Chef and Workout and Flipping Out, and here come the Housewives. And I would say I started emailing my bosses dishy behind the scenes stuff from the set of a show that I was on. And my boss, Lauren Zelaznik, said, wow, you're a really good writer. You should be the first network executive to have a blog on Bravo TV on the website. So I started blogging as a network executive every day. And I started also talking about what I did the night before. And I went to Saint-Tropez last week and all this stuff. And then as a result of the blog, I started getting interviewed by CNN and stuff like talking head stuff. We need a TV executive to talk about Sex and the City ending or this happening or that happening. And so I started doing that. And my boss was like, and she knew that I wanted to be on TV, that was my goal. Mm-hmm. She said, what if we turn your blog into like a show on bravotv.com and you can after show after Top Chef. And that's how Watch What Happens started. And that's how the reunion started. All because of this show online. And my boss believed in me and gave me the chance.
That is an incredible story also for anyone listening, because I feel like I have a lot of people at that point where they're maybe at the precipice of feeling like they thought they were going to get something in their career and they didn't. And you are literally breathing proof to be like, if you got denied from a job, it could be actually the best fucking thing that's ever happened to you. Because look at you.
Life lesson
you wouldn't be probably exactly where I'm sure you would have made it in a different capacity.
But I don't know that I would have made it on air because it's highly unconventional that someone would believe in you behind the scenes to the point. The other two things I will say as life lessons were that and
it's important to remember this part of the story because there's something that he mentions later that I want to talk about. So he mentions how someone believed in him from behind the scenes, and that's how he got his big break. And if you follow my channel, you follow some of my criticisms of Andy Cohen, you know where I'm getting at, but we will get there.
No, I had to pivot from being on the air. I was so excited to be a producer, and I was very grateful for all these opportunities that was presenting me. And I felt like, wow, this is awesome. So I still was happy to be working in television. The second thing is when I was getting these opportunities in front of the camera, I was not so full of myself to believe I wasn't getting high on my own fumes. So I wasn't saying to Bravo, well, now you need to pay me like a shit ton of money because I'm on the air and I'm a star.
Right.
I waited until I knew that I was worth something to them. And I knew that I had to be even better at my day job in charge of programming because this on-air stuff was the chance they were giving me, and it was not the thing. What I was hired for was to be in charge of programming. And I was like, now is not the time to take your eye off this wheel because they could take this away at any minute.
Right. It's like really making sure you're good at your fucking day job so that if your boss does give you like, okay, you can do the side project essentially. Mm-hmm. Don't make that your whole fucking MO because you need to still have your core. And you did that.
Yes.
Wait, so when did you though get over, this guy tells you, oh, your eyes or whatever, you're not going to make it on how did you find the confidence in front of camera?
Well, I've never been short of confidence.
Okay.
So I knew I could do it. And when my boss had confidence in me to do it, and also I was doing these interviews and I was like, they're like, okay, he can talk and be on TV. And also being a producer, I was producing myself. I understand how to be on TV because I'm a good producer.
That's a great point. That makes you have a different leg up because a lot of talent comes in and they're like, where do I look? And that's a camera.
Exactly.
And they don't even know what the fuck a camera is.
That's why the first night I went live on Watch What Happens Live, I wasn't nervous because I understand TV time and I understand how much I can fit in 3 minutes. And when my EP in my ear is saying, you have a minute left, I know what I can do with that minute. And I know how I want to end the act and I know what I want to tease to. And I'm producing myself. If I was not a TV producer, I would not be as successful as I am, I think.
Yes.
It's interesting to note that when after show, all the comments were, oh my God, that guy has such crossed eyes. So it did come into play and I had to get over it. And my mom was like, you don't have crossed eyes. I'm like, apparently I really do. So I would joke about it on the air or whatever. But then when Watch What Happens Live started, I did have a couple years of imposter syndrome where I was like, who do you think you are? You're not a late night comic. You're not a stand-up. You don't deserve this. I did have for the first times really feelings, and I had to overcome that. And also people online were saying that I gave myself my own talk show, which wasn't possible. Everyone has a boss. I worked for a big company, so I wasn't able to.
Is that to Kathy Griffin? Because, Kathy Griffin, she wasn't the only one. I mean, it wasn't just online people saying it. Kathy Griffin consistently says that about Andy Cohen.
Of circumvent an entire universe and give myself a show. Like that's.
But it makes sense though, Andy, because I think you are essentially talking about infiltrating a space that didn't exist. Like you're saying, like I didn't relate to anyone that was on air because I wasn't a comedian or I wasn't an Oprah host or whatever it be. Right. So you're kind of coming into this lane that you're forging for yourself.
Yes.
And then when people are talking shit on you, that imposter syndrome is natural because you have no one to compare yourself to, but like, no, I'm doing it kind of like this person.
Exactly right.
Meanwhile, it's the most brilliant thing to try to create your own path, but it's not fucking easy. And you kind of have to force people and train them to be like, I'm just going to stay consistent, and being consistent. Eventually people are like, yeah, we kind of like this guy.
Right.
Who gives a fuck about how he looks?
He came from,
yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, love. We have to go back. So all this is starting, first season of Real Housewives. Can you describe that era, and can you kind of tell the story to anyone that doesn't know of like, how did this franchise come to be?
Okay, I will give it to you in a nutshell. That great guy named Scott Dunlop lives in Orange County, I believe lived in Coto de Casa, and lived near Vicky and the gang. Brought us a tape of the women, and it was kind of more of a Curb Your Enthusiasm style thing, but they weren't actors, so it was kind of confusing. At the same time, we saw something in these women. I mean, it was interesting. I mean, Vicky had a grotto in her backyard, but she was an insurance agent, but she talked about, they are all talking about their breast implants, and I don't want to be a creepy guy to talk about how big their boobs were, but they were talking about how big their boobs were, and their boobs were big. So, but they were moms, and their kids were very attractive, and they spoke to their kids in a way that we hadn't seen before. And Desperate Housewives was the #1 show on TV. So we were like, what if we do this and we call it Real Housewives? Now, I'm a huge soap opera fan. In my mind, the greatest thing about this was they lived in the same community. Major, all my children, day one, me. Pine Valley, they all go to the same restaurants, they go to the same club, whatever. So in my mind, that would be the greatest thing. It was a team of people. Sherry Levine, Francis Barrick, Lauren Zelaznik, Amy Intercasso-Davis, this whole great group at Bravo.
This is when you think, when he says that they all live in the same community, Housewives has changed so dramatically, because I'm sure if you follow on X, there are so many people highlighting, oh, this person doesn't live in Potomac, or this person doesn't live in Salt Lake City. They are not even a part of the community. Yes, they try to tie it together every season, like, oh, well, she knows her from this. And maybe socially they know some of these people, but I think even socially, some of these people live way too far. Like, Wendy lives way too far to socially know anybody in Potomac. But now she does.
We looked at this and made these rules of the show. The rules of the show. We would only hear from the women. The men were in the background. We would put a banner in front of everyone's scene, giving one of the women ownership of whatever the scene was. Now, these are still the rules of the show. When a scene starts on Potomac, it says Giselle in the bottom, and you see Giselle. I mean, this is the format that we all kind of figured out. And season 1 was really a challenge to produce. I remember the meeting in my boss's office because the edit was troubled. We didn't have the footage we thought we had. I remember the meeting where we brought to my boss, it's going to cost us $450,000. We're going to lose if we flush the toilet on this show because it wasn't going well. And I, lazy whatever, was like, yeah, I mean, if this goes away, I won't be so upset. Whatever. Because I was like, it seemed like it wasn't going to. She was like, let's do it. Let's stay with it. Okay, we're staying with that. Can you imagine? My whole life has been made on this show. Like, I owe these women everything in this show. Like,
it is so crazy because I think in terms almost of my age group watching, it is a different version, but reminds me of when Laguna Beach came onto the scene. Mm-hmm. And then the OC also was happening. I think the OC came first and then Laguna Beach. And it was like, wait, we're watching the OC, aka Desperate Housewives. Right. And then it's like, how are we not going to now get the reality version? Because California and the rich and the famous and the whole thing, it's like voyeurism. Yes. People just, when you're a kid from fucking Pennsylvania or first St. Louis, right?
Yes.
I would have died to just have a glimpse into Paris Hilton's life or Lauren Conrad's or, you know what I mean, these women. And so the fact that you guys got to capture it, but the mom aspect is something that was so fucking new. And I remember you went on to debate essentially Gloria Steinem of whether...
I lost the debate.
Okay. Well, I think anyone would lose any feminist
She was on my show and I stupidly, and we're live, I was like, you say this show is a minstrel show for women and whatever. But by the way, I know more feminists who love this show. Camille Paglia being kind of a leading feminist, but I look, and Roxane Gay, by the way. But also I look at a lot of famous, very strong women like Julia Roberts, Jennifer Lawrence, Sarah Paulson, just on and on, who view this show as a platform for women in their 50s who are, owning their sexuality and making their own decisions and all this stuff. So yes, but that debate with Gloria Steinem, maybe not my smartest moment, but I tried. And she had never seen the show. If you look at the show and you look at, clips of someone throwing wine or flipping a table, you're gonna.
Yeah, how do you debate about something that you haven't really watched? But okay.
Think the worst. I mean, I get it.
Absolutely.
I get it.
And I think that's anything, because I even do it with my show. It's like the promos and the trailers, it's meant to have you a little angry, a little concerned, a little, I need to click on this. And then once you settle in, you're like, oh, this shit is actually really lovely and fun.
Is that rage bait? Call her daddy?
And of course there's the chaotic moments, but it's not chaotic after chaotic after chaotic.
Yes.
But yeah, no, going up against Gloria Steinem for a feminist battle, sweetie, love that for you.
Yeah.
Trust your beauty, and they're basically, you don't need to hire it. Top up the day of, talk to me.
And that I've known you all really.
It is to start your business today. This unions.
Yes.
Okay. Let's talk about it.
Okay.
First of all, what type of headspace are you getting into days leading up, the day of? Talk to me.
Used to be a really big deal for me.
Okay.
Leading up to the reunion, hours-long prep calls with the producers, speaking to the women in advance. The morning of, I would take a run. I mean, I was
jazzed up
in the thing. I mean, to be honest, what do I do now? I drop my kids off at school. I'm like, what color?
People can tell. I think people can tell. The way that you used to rev yourself up and prepare for the reunion, now people are probably getting a better understanding why he seems uninterested. He doesn't seem the same as opposed to past reunions.
Suit do you want me to wear? What is this set? I bring 3 ties. I go. I'm like, come on, let's do it. I mean, I am so ready, because also, look, I have one call with the production team and the network, and and we talk about the seating for the reunion. I ask them, where are we shooting? What suit am I wearing? And then we talk about where the women are, and I will have notes on the order of the day. Okay. Sometimes I'll say, I don't think it makes sense to do it this way. X and Y is the elephant in the room. Can we please do it at the top of the day? Mm-hmm. Sometimes we save the biggest mess till the end.
Of course.
When are the husbands coming out? Why does that make sense? Why is this person coming? So those are all the conversations we have in advance. And then day of, it's game day. I'm ready to play the game. I have done hundreds of reunions at this point.
How crazy is that?
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Okay, wait. Has anyone during a reunion ever really, really pushed your patience and you've been like, I'm so fucking over you?
Yeah.
Give me an example.
Well, I mean, the last couple Jersey reunions, I had a really hard time with. And by the way, I don't like screaming at women. It is a bad look, but there are moments, and they left them in the show.
He's heard your criticisms.
Where I'm like, shut the fuck up, or whatever, or be quiet. So yeah. And by the way, sometimes the only way that I can get people to be quiet is to literally be like, shut up, go crazy. And there are sometimes where I will say to the producers, can you mark that? You're not using that. Because there are enough that are in the show, but some are just, they're not, it's just me talking over a cacophony.
No, it actually looks like they're your children, and you're actually at a little school event, and you're trying to keep these kids in fucking line.
Correct.
I do think people love when you get nasty, though, because it does get you, it takes a second to get you to that level, but when you get to that fucking level.
It takes more than a second.
Yeah, you go fucking feral. Yes. Who do you think is the worst person when it comes to speaking over people at reunions?
I think that Lisa Barlow, I think that there are some people who it's just harder for them, and it's no disrespect. It's harder for them to have the intake of what someone's saying and then speak back and then, figure it out. I think Lisa Barlow might be one. I think Teresa historically has, that's been a growth area for her.
Love you.
I think that I feel like maybe Toya on Married to Medicine could be in there. Love you, Toya, no disrespect.
I thought that was interesting that he said Toya, because I have to go back and think about it. But again, he's talking from a perspective where he's there the entire day with them, and maybe the edited version that we see, it doesn't seem that way with Toya. But I thought Toya was an interesting one.
I think that Dr. Simone also, now that I'm in the Married to Medicine universe.
Screaming in his ear.
Who else? I mean, there are some kind of feel like Jacqueline Larita on Jersey may have been there.
We have to go way back to that
it's
one.
good. Yeah. We need to talk about Love Island reunion.
Okay.
Because you are I agree. You've done so many Real Housewives reunions. You're in that Bravo universe. And then all of a sudden it's announced that you're doing the Love Island reunion. And just okay, I wanted to hear because for context, I started doing Love Island interviews about 2 years ago. Pretty new. It was really mostly once US got big. I had done an interview with Olivia Atwood, who was from season 3 of UK. I was like in it. But you know, US cares more about the US stuff, I guess. So I did Leah and Rob from, I don't even know if you know who those are. Okay. It was the biggest fucking season until this past season, okay? And I'm telling you, it was more intense, the feedback, than when I interviewed the fucking vice president of the United States. I had to be so on my fucking game. These fans, I wish they took it as seriously as like voting for a president than they do fucking voting for Love Island. So I couldn't help but be like, talk to me about your experience. Because I love it too, but damn, it's fucking intense.
No, I think that the fans are super passionate. And, you know, they reminded, listen, I am used to this because Housewives fans are really passionate. And so, and like Jersey fans for years, there were, Teresa's fan base are called tree huggers. And like, there was a narrative going on around the tree huggers that I was super unfair to Teresa and that I hated her. And Teresa and I have always had a really good relationship, but I think that there was a period of time where she was getting confused by what the tree huggers were saying online. Because also if you look at certain clips in isolation, you may think, what does this guy think of me? Or why is he being like this with me on the show or whatever? And so she would come and think, and before she went away, she and I had a very serious lunch together where we kind of really, I was like, you know, like, this is kind of a narrative that's happening outside of the show and whatever. And she's like, well, I've left feeling this way or whatever, but we really talked it out and it was great. But so I've been there with passionate fans. This one I was like, whoa, because I think a lot of the folks who watch Love Island weren't clued in on a Andy Cohen reunion, which is I go there, I don't break a sweat, I'm going to ask you, I'm going to come back at you. And the thing about the Housewives is I am also one of their bosses in theory. So I do, when I'm wearing my Housewives reunion hat, I am trying to be as the most neutral version of myself while also representing what the fans are saying because I know what the fans are saying. On Vanderpump Rules or Southern Charm or whatever, Summer House, I do get in the weeds a little bit with them a little more. And it's kind of fun for me. It's one of the reasons I love those shows and why I think people enjoy watching me doing those shows because, look, I love giving men with Peter Pan syndrome shit who make bad decisions. Like, I love it. It's like a Watch What Happens Live classic. Jax, come on in. Let's talk. So with Love Island, it just seemed like the perfect, I was like, oh, this is going to be so fun, whatever. People were upset that I was asking Hutta about her dating life outside the show. And I'm like, you were just on a reality show about your dating life. If anything in the universe has ever been more fair game, it is me asking you who you are dating now and who you, by the way, have been on red carpets with. So that there should be any backlash or commentary on that. I was like, oh, this is special. This is kooky. And by the way, the Hutta fans, and I'm sure they have a Hutta hive or something like that, they were...
I see Hutta is making apologies because someone used the N-word during one of the lives with the young black lady, oh my goodness, you guys know what I'm talking about, from Love Island. You know I'm not a fan of Love Island like that, but I'm familiar, but I saw that she was receiving a lot of backlash today, and she's issued an apology. She will be making a donation to the NAACP.
Really brutal. And what you need to know is I thought she made the show. Like, she was amazing. She was on your show. Like, so she was my person that I was most excited about talking to because there was so much to talk to her about. But also you can't give me the answer of, oh, that was so long ago and I've changed when it was 3 weeks ago. So like, I'm going to say, I get it that you're a whole different person in 4 weeks, but like real talk, that was 4 weeks ago. I am going to be the guy that says that.
And I think for Bravo fans, if anything, they're like, oh, he's going light.
That was the other thing. People were like, y'all don't realize that was Andy Light.
That was light.
Kind of.
Well, because I was going to ask, did you watch any of the season?
I watched the entirety of the season.
You did?
You don't think I watched the season? I wouldn't do a reunion show without watching.
You watched every fucking episode?
Daddy, what the fuck, dude? Daddy? Watch the whole thing. I'm not going to host something as important as the Love Island reunion and not watch the season.
I was wondering.
Why? Is there a conjecture that I didn't watch it?
Everyone's like, yeah, he had his fucking assistants watch it and send him down.
That is insulting. I take my job seriously.
Okay, so when did you have time to watch? Like at night, you would just watch it every night?
I make time, Daddy.
Okay, I love that. No. I was very...
It was my job. I took it seriously.
And I love that you took it seriously.
And I don't love that there's fucking 18 episodes a week.
Dude.
Because
Me
like
either.
I have
That's
2
why I didn't
kids,
watch it.
10 Housewives series. You know, I have a big life, but I watched it all.
It consumes your life. Like
Yes.
I was doing the same. I
All
was
good. Ready to go for next year. I have the schedule. I know what I'm
You
doing.
think you're going to do it?
Oh, am I going to host a reunion?
Yeah.
Oh, I hope so. They'll have me back.
I agree with you. I think I like it because it's during summer-ish.
Yes.
So it's during summertime. I plan my stuff. I
Yes.
get ready. I usually want to have like the top 2 talked about people on.
Yeah.
And
I'll tell you this, I will not be watching.
I'm ready to fucking go.
Yes.
And Huda was amazing. Amaya was amazing. Like they come out and they're ready to go.
And they're superstars.
They are.
Yes.
And they pop off. Okay, we're going to do some rapid fire. Who is...
However, you guys will not be talking about Huda or what's her name come next year when you have a whole new season. Hope they're enjoying their claim to fame for now.
Hottest husband on Housewives?
Oh, that's a good question. You know what? Angel, the new Potomac housewife, her husband, former NFL player, he's bringing it right now.
Love.
But
He's bringing it, meaning he's bringing his looks.
I mean, there have been many.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you could throw a drink in any housewife's husband's face, who would it be?
Oh, wow. There was, well, first of all, I don't
And why is it Slade?
condone violence.
Oh, yeah, but like theoretically throw a drink.
There was
His PR is telling him, like, you got to be very careful what you say.
one season housewife from Jersey called Amber. It would be her husband.
Perfect.
Yes.
I'm dead. Oh, we don't condone it. We're just kidding. It's a hypothetical.
Oh my God, you had to go way back because I had to really think. I was like, who's Amber? And I was like, oh, okay.
Who's a cast member you wanted so bad but couldn't get to sign on?
Oh, there was a woman on Roni, you know, people complained about the lack of diversity on Roni for years. And there were a few very high profile women of color in New York that I was sitting with, I was meeting with that didn't happen. So that one was Erica Reed, L.A. Reid's wife. And L.A. didn't want to be on the show. I mean, it was like a whole thing. And I know Erica and she's amazing. And she was kind of the one that got away for Roni for years.
That's a good answer.
There have been a few.
Okay, which petty...
And L.A. Reid didn't want her to do it. You see what the accusation to L.A. Reid has faced in recent years. I wonder why he didn't want to do it.
feud lasted way too long, in your opinion?
Well, oh gosh. I mean, there have been so many.
I know. Name one.
I mean, Gretchen and Tamara right now are arguing about things that happened 15 years ago, but they haven't had the space to do it.
So it's kind of fair.
So, like, it is fair.
Okay.
But I'm trying to think of one.
No, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are clued into that right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Who's the biggest douchebag in Bravo universe?
Sandoval.
Me?
Perfect. Should Karen rejoin Potomac now that she's out of prison?
Karen Reid.
I love Karen. I hope so.
Okay. Would you rather have Karen or Jen Shaw as your prison cellmate?
Wait, did she say Karen Huger or she said Karen Reid, right?
Karen.
Okay. What's been the most iconic
And you see clearly he does not like Jen Shaw. Jen Shaw is not coming back, y'all.
Bravo moment that immediately just pops to your head over the years go?
We got the yacht. We got the yacht.
Okay.
I don't know.
Which housewife has made the best song in their attempted singing career?
Oh, okay. I love Candace Dillard Bassett's song Drive Back.
Oh, never heard it.
Absolutely love it.
Ghost Stream?
I think that was an interesting choice, and maybe because it's in his forefront. However, when I saw this, and look, shout out to Candace, I love the fact that she really made a serious music career, and not like a lot of these other housewives that pursued music and it wasn't like serious. So she really took her music career seriously. But I immediately thought, I was like, don't be tardy for the... I don't like Kim Z, but that song, I remember, speaking of the gay clubs, being in the gay clubs when that song was hot, and even if you knew she couldn't sing, but that song hit. Candy did her big one on that song. But that's me. He probably, this is fire questions, so...
Everyone?
Yep.
Do you think it's better than Sheena Shea's Good as Gold?
I love Good as Gold.
Okay.
I am a Good as Gold. Don't come for Good as Gold.
It's good.
Yes,
it's
as
good.
gold.
Okay, was Katie lying about what Gretchen told her about Naked Wasted?
Unclear. Lots of stories. Watch the
And he's hosted the reunion. It's still unclear.
reunion.
Okay, who is the best housewife casting edition of the past year?
Stacy on Potomac.
Love.
And I told you, if you were here for our Real Housewives of Potomac recap during Watch What Happens Live, where Stacey was a guest, which they had pretty good ratings for that episode, he says he finds Stacey endlessly entertaining. So I'm not shocked that he mentions that she's like the best hire in recent years.
Packed under in so many dippers. I love it. Fine. Like everything's good. Woo. Yeah. The new Google Pixel 10, but now you won't believe.
Do you hold hands?
That is our spot. No, but
What does a typical night out with John Mayer look like?
it is us going to dinner. We always sit on the same side of the booth. We sit next to each other Always.
Do you hold hands?
That is our spot. No, but I do, as the night goes on, find myself sinking into him because he'll have his arm around me. And I do. And as a matter of fact, we were at the Sunset Tower.
No wonder there's all these rumors about Andy Cohen and John Mayer. Even with my like good girlfriends, we're not sitting, if we're to have a booth, he's facing me like we're having a conversation. Okay. But then let me not judge. Okay, I'm just saying.
Last week.
Stop.
And I was getting so physical with him by the end that he was like, Andy, but I was kind of using his body to tell a story about a guy. But then I was like, I was in my cups a little bit. We were in a puddle of laughter. It ends and we love each other deeply.
Oh.
We actually do.
I can tell.
Yeah.
Do you think you're like secretly in love with him?
I'm not secretly in love with him.
You are.
No, we love each other.
Okay.
If I could find a gay guy that was him, it would be magic. But you know what? I am so grateful for the love that we have.
You're going to keep it like that?
Yeah.
Okay, if you could set John up with anyone in Hollywood, who would it be?
It would be someone who has their own thing going, who has their own success, who is just smart and funny and just someone strong and independent.
I know, we're going to have to call him after.
Are we going to act as if John is not the problem in most of his relationships? Just saying.
I saw some news that he was seen with a certain...
I feel like he's the definition of F-boy. I think that's when the word became popular. Just saying.
woman, so I gotta confirm or deny with him. John, we'll call you after this. Okay, talk to me about Anderson Cooper.
Okay.
You met him through a failed blind date.
Yes.
Is that correct? Can you tell quickly what happened?
Yeah, our friend, a friend of ours, it was the 90s. It was probably like 94. I remember where I was in my then apartment when I spoke to him on the phone.
Okay.
And we were talking, and I made the fatal mistake of a couple minutes in. I was like, so Gloria Vanderbilt is your mom? I had no couth or coolness. And he says that was the moment where he was like, I'm not going to go on a date with this queen.
I mean, to be fair, that last name is so...
but let it come up in conversation. But we wound up becoming really good friends. We both were friends with Barry Diller. And we would go on these trips with Barry and Anderson and I was like, I love this guy. And I loved from the beginning making him laugh.
Did you ever want to hook up with him?
No.
It was immediately just friends.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
Yep.
That's cute. You guys do you think you'll be allowed to drink for
Yeah, we've
New
drank
Year's?
the last couple of years.
Okay, you're fine.
Yeah, we're good.
And have they told you like keep it at a minimum or they're like let loose? Yeah.
I think we know what we're doing.
Okay, I like when you guys drink more.
Who doesn't?
Okay, which of your friends would you trust the most to set you up with someone?
I would trust Anderson.
Mm-hmm. Seems like he's got a good network.
Yeah.
Are you on the apps?
I'm on every app.
Oh.
Grindr, Scruff, Raya, Hinge.
I've never heard of Scruff.
Tinder.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay, and are you putting pictures of yourself like this on your profile or are they selfies? Like, are you doing work pictures? You're trying to avoid everything.
Yeah.
Like, do you have some of you like on set at Watch What Happens? Like,
I think on my Raya there may be one.
yeah, just to confirm, like it is really me.
Let's be clear.
Okay, and do you think on Grindr they think you're gonna like it's not actually you?
I've gotten kicked off Grindr for being
right, impersonating yourself, but you are actually
people have reported me.
Oh my God.
Yes.
So does most of the conversation start where they're like, is this actually you? Send proof?
You know, it's interesting. Some people are too cool for school and they'll say nothing. Some people are like, you look like him. Some people are, why are you sending his picture? Some people are like, ew. I mean, like, I get it all.
Oh, damn, not ew. I think I probably would not believe that it was Andy either, depending on the location. Because, you know, I'm in New York City. So if I was like, oh, so I know where he lives, I'm like, oh, so this probably is Andy Cohen.
That's actually really fucking annoying, though, that you're like, okay, I know I have to go through this first phase where they either have to like hate me, pretend they hate me, love me, ask for fucking proof, and then we can start actually flirting.
Right. A picture that I've sent for years on Grindr is this picture that it's black and white and it's kind of blurry. So there's some...
First of all, if you send a blurry black and white picture, immediately block...
doubt it looks like me. It is me. But some people could say, I feel like it's a perfect first picture because it introduces the idea of me
a little mystique
without being like me with my cards on Watch What Happens. You know what I mean? So like,
I love that for you.
It's a little bit of a chaos agent, this picture.
I would love to look at your dating apps. Okay, are you going on dates?
Yes.
You are?
I go on some dates.
But why hasn't he settled down?
You know, I have kids, obviously.
Yep.
And so dating has really changed. And I meet two kind of people that I want to sleep with and people that I want to date. And we all do. So.
And can we describe them? See, if I was doing an interview, okay, let's talk about the people that you would sleep with. Because I've been telling you guys, I feel like the people that he sleeps with versus the people he's going to bring out on a red carpet are two different people. We won't go. Come on, we've already talked about this multiple times because I did a video. That's part of the reason why he blocked me, because he probably thought I was at the gay club videotaping him under a table while you're in a public space. First of all, it wasn't me. I was reporting, doing my job that I always do, talking about celebrities, including him. If it was another celebrity twiddling a black boy's nipple at the public club, then I'd be talking about it. He's no different.
And people that I want to date and sleep with, obviously.
Love. That's the dream. That's the dream.
That's the goal. But so, yeah.
If you are trying to impress a man, what are you doing on a first date?
I don't try to impress guys.
You don't?
No. I mean, what do you mean try to impress?
Like, are you taking them to a certain spot?
No.
Are you no? And are you doing coffee dates because you're like working?
This might be the reason why he's still single. And I'm not saying that you need to impress anyone, but it seems like he's not willing to do the effort. It feels like.
I wouldn't try to impress someone.
Okay.
They would want to be with me or not. I don't want to be with some, slurpy twink who's trying to be impressed.
Is it true that you did though hook up with a guy that you met on Craigslist?
Craigslist used to be the place where we hooked up. Oh, yes. That used to be.
God.
Craigslist was Grindr before there was Grindr.
You're like, babe, that's another dating app. Okay?
Yeah, yes,
okay.
it was.
And were you had some successes there?
Oh, yeah. That was before I was famous also.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you ever go back on Craigslist?
I think that
I don't think you can on Craigslist anymore.
I think that they unplugged the meeting up feature on Craigslist years ago.
Well, if they ever revamp it, you should be the face of.
No, thanks.
Oh, no, okay. You get a fat check for that one.
Yeah.
Okay. How would you describe your typical type?
Well, again, I'm like the UN. It's all over the map. I mean, come one, come all. It's really about a vibe.
Lies you tell. And look, he might be, obviously he's open. If you look at his co-host on his Sirius XM show, it's a white guy. But like I said, he seems to have a type. The streets here in New York City be talking.
To date, I like strong, independent, smart, has their own thing going, handsome. I really like. It's so funny. The few people that I've hooked up with on Raya that I've actually hooked up in person with have mainly not watch What Happens Live and don't watch the Housewives.
So nice.
And they're like, no, I'm an architect and I do this, or I'm a finance guy. And
do you like that?
I do like it.
Kind of hot.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it's like, you've got a little like anonymity.
Yeah.
What has been your longest relationship?
3 years. I'm embarrassed to say.
No, 3 years is long.
Really? I'm an old.
That's not bad at all, especially in gay years. That's not bad.
Guy.
Yeah, but 3 years.
I've been single far longer than I've been with people, but I like being single and I have a really good life. So I haven't been like, oh, I'm so lonely. And then my kids wound up saving my life. Having kids later in life was like the greatest thing I've ever done.
It's beautiful. And I think that's, you've got a full house.
I have a family. It's great.
We are going to play one of the games that you play on your show, word association. Just say the first thing that comes to mind. Single Nicole Kidman.
Living.
Oh my God.
I don't know.
Oh my God. That just took everything to come out of you. Okay, The Golden Bachelor.
Handsome?
We're for it.
Yeah.
Okay, Bad Bunny Super Bowl halftime show.
Yes. He's an American, you fucking idiots. God, Puerto Rico is in America. God,
I hate that you have to clarify.
Swimming in a sea of fucking idiots.
It's so hard. It's so hard to be an American. Okay, Sydney Sweeney and Scooter Braun's relationship.
Into it.
Really?
She's so hot.
Oh, Scooter Braun?
Why not?
Okay. Teresa Giudice.
Yes, OG.
Ketamine.
Never done it.
Really?
I am the only gay man on the planet that has never done.
No, never done it. Never done it. Probably haven't done half the stuff that you've done. Just like.
Oh, Amy Sedaris and I did nasal ketamine once before we went to the Polo Bar. But it was just like, it lasted like half an hour. We didn't go in a K-hole or anything. But so we did do that.
Before the fucking Polo Bar?
It was so weird. Someone gave it to us. It was not the time or the place, but it happened.
I'm fucking done. Okay, Mauricio Umansky.
Handsome.
Okay, the next season of the Roni reboot.
Gonna be great.
Love. Okay.
I feel like that's going to happen. The announcement for that is going to happen at BravoCon. And I definitely think there's going to be another cast shakeup. I mean, I know it's going to be definitely another cast shakeup. You're going to see some familiar faces with a bunch of new faces.
Last, before we go, plead the fifth. 3, ready?
Plead the fifth.
Okay,
great.
In your opinion, who is the thirstiest celebrity?
Wow. I'm going to say, and I mean this with total love, and I love her, Britani on Salt Lake City.
Yeah. And some people debate she's not a celebrity. In his head, he's thinking Housewives, okay?
I love you. Okay, which Housewives couple is headed for divorce?
Oh, wow. Well, I mean, I have no idea. I'm stunned by, I was stunned, but I'm still getting over Kyle and Mauricio.
Me too.
I mean, if I had to answer this question myself, and I'm not saying that I wish this on them, but I could see it happening, would be Wendy and Eddie. Something like this could tear a family apart.
Yeah. I'm still getting over Rachel and Raj.
Okay,
Rachel,
so you don't have a new one.
Zoe. I don't have a new one.
Okay, so you're pleading the fifth. Who do you think should replace you when you retire?
Oh, wow. No, I'm not pleading the fifth. Now I wish I did about the thirstiest celebrity. Who do I think should replace me? Well, I don't really love talking about my retirement. Thank you very much.
You're like, I've never been
should replace you, Daddy.
I know you're like, I've never been hotter. Fuck off.
I think, yeah. I mean, I'm like on fire. If you haven't noticed,
then you don't have to answer.
No, it's fine. I used to say there's two people that I always kind of thought, which were Jerry O'Connell, who I love,
Great.
and Jeff Lewis, who I think.
Boom. So that's where I really wanted to talk about. I know it took us a journey, but I'm sure you enjoyed sitting here and analyzing all of this with me. So that has been making the rounds this week. Since this interview came out, and it's so interesting to me because if you're not new to the channel, you know my biggest criticism of Andy, especially when it comes to hosting the reunions, was the fact that there's so much talent at Bravo and NBC Universal that he could be putting in positions, not just people of color, not just black people, not just black women, but women in general. He could be putting in these positions, especially because you're Andy Cohen. You will always be the father, Daddy Andy over there at the network. You will be collecting your checks. At this particular point, it's just becoming greedy. And I remember Candace talking about this. I forgot, she must have did an interview or something like that. And she was talking about Nicki Minaj coming in to host and things like that. And she revealed there's no way that Andy would let anyone take that seat. And I've heard things from behind the scenes and stuff like that before, the same thing. So when he said these two white men, first of all, if you're retiring, they should probably be retiring too at that particular point, whatever particular point that you would, quote, retire. So that wouldn't make sense regardless. But there's so much young up-and-coming talent that he never actually puts people in those positions. And I know some people are like, well, maybe he does behind the scenes. Yeah, but he doesn't put them in positions where it matters. And he's in a position of power. Rewinding back to the beginning of this episode that we're doing, where he talked about a person looked at him in a way of something that he was passionate about doing and gave him an opportunity. I have yet to see Andy Cohen do that for someone else on camera, in front of the camera. And don't tell me about, he's put people in positions on like Sirius. No, we're talking about these positions where he could fight for them. Like, you know what? I'm going to put Karamo here for Atlanta. Let's have Karamo host the reunion. Or if you didn't believe that Karamo could do the entire reunion, let me put Karamo in to maybe handle backstage interviews or something like that. He's never done it. He does not want to be outshined because, as he said in this interview, at the very beginning, there was a period where he had imposter syndrome. I believe he still has a little bit of that. Because if you didn't, why wouldn't you highlight other up-and-coming talent? Why wouldn't you start grooming, for lack of a better word, grooming potential talents that could be doing these things at the network, hosting the reunions? Why aren't you doing that? So this stood out to me. I was like, of all the people that you could name, Jerry O'Connell and Jeff Lewis, who do not, let's go down the pipeline. Jeff Lewis is too problematic. He said so many problematic things. And I know Andy Cohen has said some problematic things too. But Andy can reel it in. He can definitely reel it in. Jeff Lewis can't. Okay. I will say there are moments I've seen clips with Jeff Lewis. I was like, oh, he has interesting perspectives on, especially when it comes to the reality TV space, maybe because he's from reality TV. Jerry O'Connell, who I do like Jerry O'Connell. Jerry O'Connell has gotten so many opportunities to be a host and has failed miserably. Wendy Williams tried to give him an opportunity. failed miserably. And I feel like he failed miserably because he was trying to be a Wendy Williams, but the white guy version. Then he went over to the talk. Now that's ending. Jerry O'Connell, nice guy. Maybe he could have fit in over there I know he auditioned for Kelly and Mark whenever it was Kelly and someone else. I forgot who was there, but Kelly and Ryan. Didn't happen for him. So I found it to be interesting. First of all, even if he didn't mention a person of color, he didn't even mention a woman. Bravo is built off the back of women. I'm sure women would love, if he had said Kate Chastain, I'd be like, okay, ooh, look, whoo, because some people speculate, why not Kate Chastain? Kate is smart, she's funny, she was great reality television, she understands the reality TV space, she's very much in the network. She works with the network. I know she had like a YouTube show with the network. But no, the first couple of names that rolled off his tongue were two white men that are the same age as him. Okay.
It's great.
Okay, but you're not going anywhere.
But I'm not going anywhere.
You lost the weight. You got your long hair. You're looking sexy.
Yes.
Like, you're here to stay.
Yeah.
You're just getting started.
Yeah.
Andy, this was everything I could have imagined and more. This was so fun.
Daddy,
so easy. Didn't even feel like an interview, right?
No, it was so fun.
We were just hanging out.
Loved it.
I will say this. There's only about 4 more minutes left to it. We don't need to listen to it. We listened to enough. I will say this. I've seen other interviews with Andy. This one, again, the reason why I did it was because there were moments that I wanted to talk about. So I said, let's listen to it together. Again, I will probably release this on our Club Kempire Apple Podcasts first before releasing it to YouTube. I was a little bored. I don't necessarily love her interview style, but that's me. And that doesn't say that it's bad, great, whatever. You know, I'm a podcast snob. I don't know if I'll be back. Maybe if the guest that she has is interesting, I will be. No shade to call her daddy. And like I said, I've seen she's built a huge platform. Good for her. Congratulations. There's an audience for everyone. I don't think I am her audience. Again, because the interview, I was like, okay, a lot of, especially because we're in this space, I don't feel like I learned anything necessarily new besides some of the current game questions that she was asking him about Housewives and things like that. But I didn't feel like I learned anything dramatically new. But here we are. I hope you enjoyed, though, my commentary talking about Andy Cohen on Call Her Daddy. As always, if you're listening to this on the Kempire Podcast, be sure to give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. And if you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to share the video. Don't forget to subscribe and turn your notifications on so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. As always, for everything Kempire, including our merch, including 10% off of butter, will be available in the description. And of course, our sponsors for today, our friends over at Factor. So be sure to check them out if you would like to get a meal or two. All right, more information on everything will be available in the description or episode notes. Thank you all for being here, and thank you all for watching. Let's continue this conversation in the comment section. Bye, y'all. Thanks for tuning in to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Network. Don't forget to give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. And for more information on the podcast, head on over to KempireRadio.com.